You all saw my email?
Yeah, you want to just touch base on some of those? And
Yeah, did you see his responses?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the first one, of the 105,000 operating replacement. 24 audit.
yeah, it was one of the AGEs, including the 2024 audit.
That's why, I guess, balance has been off all year.
Yeah, I wasn't, yeah.
Reconciliation.
Well, for them, yeah, the entry was to reconcile the replacement fund for 2024. Apparently, we had the first of revenue that actually belonged to the operating, so they wanted to take that out of the deferred reserve revenue and move that to operating, to balance the replacement fund. Yes,
Even 105,000.
in 2000, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a reason that the same accounting firm do the taxes, yet they're fixing their own work a year later? That seems off, right? Why wasn't it picked up when they did the audit last year?
Yes.
Not saying that not to do it, I'm just saying that
Well,
from performance wise,
if it was from the 2025,
Yes,
gotcha.
but we actually got the final report like late October. Yeah,
So I just never got to it, so it's just.
correct, yeah.
okay. Sorry, I'm thinking 2023, yeah.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Okay, the second, deferred fines, 115,000. You say that everybody is in the collection process except.
Yeah, actually, everybody was in collections. The one that is currently not in collection is because they were able to sell the property and they processed the conveyance, and now that debt was transferred to the new owner. So now the new owner is gonna be responsible to paying like, it was like $20,000 at this person. Owes.
Was that on the Estoppel? Did you see that?
I actually went to the Crescent account and I saw the conveyance transaction in the new owner's account.
Okay,
Yes,
so the new ones.
yes. Mhm.
Is there a reason why that wasn't paid at?
Created between the buyer and seller and to see like.
But again, is that something that is unique that we transfer covenants violations? I figured you sell your property, you need to have it paid off, or it's the responsibility of the homeowner, and the closing should be that dead date when everything's paid. So this seems to be, is this a one-off or is this a practice that you guys truly do?
It should be a one-off. It should have been paid. Generally, it's paid in closing. Anything due to the association is paid in closing. It's a one-off.
And if it's paid at closing or due at closing, are there now interest charges that we're collecting from late payments and other things from the buyer?
Yeah, the buyer, the person that sold, his account is not up to date and they owe nothing. Because in the conveyance process, they transfer everything.
I understand that. I'm just saying from the new buyer, that should have been done at closing. That
No.
should be the status quo celebration.
That's fine. I'm just answering your question about did we transfer also the late fees and all of that. That's what I'm trying to say. Like the previous owner, his account was wiped out and everything, everything, the balance that was outstanding was transferred.
Hopefully they pay it and hopefully they clean that up quickly.
It was a big one, like $27,000. Overall, the balance that was transferred.
We had the paperwork into the title company, they wanted to close because we had that claim. So I assume we didn't have the claim.
I don't.
It probably didn't meet it. Probably hadn't gotten that far in the process yet. Just because you're fined for the covenants process, and then I put the fines on the account, we can't, it's not collectible unless we get to the point where the board converts it to a specific assessment, then it's collectible, then it would then get paid fully in an estoppel. So there's a lot of steps to get to collectible on covenants.
Shorten that and so.
No, we do it as quick as we can.
Lauren, this came before the board, correct?
I don't know what address specifically this is.
But that dollar amount seems familiar to me.
Oh, yeah, this would have come in front of the board, Bill, yeah. For the fines to be on the account, the board would have had to
Yeah.
put them on there.
The buyer was negotiating and we held firm.
That's what, okay, now I know exactly what you're talking about.
Mhm.
Yes,
We didn't hold firm because we didn't get paid at closing.
Right.
You held firm at the dollar amount, yes, but you should have got collected at that point.
Right.
But yeah, just Graham Manor's collected as soon as he can.
Yeah.
Okay, the holiday concert, we only got in $2,300 versus a budget of 9,000. And we spent $42,000 on a holiday concert.
Which just for understanding, Lakeside concert, you guys sell tickets for that, but then no, they're all. Okay,
Reserve tables.
I don't think we did this year for the holiday.
Yeah, reserve.
We did.
Yeah, reserve
But
tables.
the concerts at Lakeside are complimentary and reserve tables. That's a different series.
They don't cost anywhere as much as the concert.
No, they're all within. The expenditures there are usually under the $5,000 threshold that don't require any.
was that a change from special events on how to get revenue for that event? It was budgeted, I would think so. Originally. So
It was
Not-
budgeted by the previous event staff. That's what you're seeing all this year is a budget that was established by people that were terminated at the beginning of the year. And we have people coming in utilizing a budget that, and revenue expectations that they didn't set.
Just a comment, because I looked at both Park and Rec and special events to define revenue and costs together for the year. They probably had anomalies like this, but they were both had a budget, the net budget. They ran against each other. They both performed well. But the revenue was way down and the cost was way down.
Yeah.
So they didn't cause.
yeah, from a holistic point, they're under, it's just the event specific.
Yeah, that's
is what it was.
That's what I thought. That's-
Which I think the holiday one is usually more expense intensive. It's understood.
Was there,
It's usually one of our biggest concerts here.
oh, was there a good crowd this year?
It was pretty good.
I was there.
Just like an orchestra.
Yeah.
with, 5 different stands.
Okay, the credit amounts on private rentals, you're saying these are deposit refunds. Why are we recognizing income? Just getting deposits. Deposit for this room is like $500.
I could send them to a separate account, a deposit account, to keep track of those, and just like pull from there, whatever we do a refund. But right now, everything's going to the same card.
Makes no sense to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, not our money unless they have damage and then we
Yeah.
recognize some income to cover our costs.
I guess is 95% get returned, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would put them in your account and just hold them on the balance sheet.
Put them in cash. They should have a budget. Track some down. Only cash.
The only other way would do is you net out whatever the total expense is by that, what the final bill is. But I guess they would be paying that in full before the event anyways, so it'd be.
No, it's like, if you want to rent this room, you gotta pay for the hours.
I guess we have.
Yeah, so it's always gonna be post after the,
Deposit is separate. As
yeah, so then it should be separate.
damage. Okay, Founder's Day credits, reversal of an invoice, vehicle maintenance. 300 for Pet Boys, always trying to use a lot.
Yep.
I found this one interesting. Gem Car Sales and Service, replacement of parking brake switch, labor, and out-of-state service fee.
I think that's comes from Georgia to serve the next.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is actually an old bill from late October, early November that we just received now. So,
Oh, okay. Say it with all this talk.
yeah,
It wasn't a recent service, it was late.
Have we talked to anybody in the villages about coming down?
Down to the companies that use.
Relationship with them. I said, even if it's sad on the drive down, they didn't travel to April.
Yeah.
They're that far.
you skip over the, our assessment? Admin,
Yeah. Answer.
So true.
Abby submitted a second payment in late December for approximately $3,000. It did not include Q4 prorated assessments for the UIB Phase 2 units. So they still owe that.
which how much is that they would still,
Well, in total, they owe like $160,000, specifically for the Q4 rated, it was like about $71,000. So now they owe that $71,000 in the first quarter.
and we're on schedule with that payment? That's
They
not
are.
behind. That's not something we should have.
It's not past due 90 days like we were before. Now it's like they owe
Oh, they're
30 days, 0 to 3 days, the current assessment, and then they have from late December, the $71,000. So they're in that range from 0 to 45 days right now. Yeah.
Is that in our receivable?
Yes.
Okay. Those are my questions. Anybody else have more?
I have positive news on these stories.
That's good. Really?
You got the money?
They re-engaged with Charlie and they were wiring an $80,000 and change payment to the law firm on January 30th. They're supposed to wire the same amount in February, following with the $50,000 and change a month payments.
So basically, those two payments will cover the 2026 assessments, and then the payments will be covered the $2,000 that they owe us.
And that'll take them till like October to get paid up.
Starting March.
$1,000 a month. they're gonna pay. Is that the number we had before? Yes, lump sums. Okay. So it must get done in October.
So it's $87,437 in January, same amount in February, and $50,246 each month.
Now wire from January already cleared?
Well,
It
the
won't,
law
you
firm.
won't see it
received
until
it.
they're paid in full.
Okay, so tell them that's
Will there be any fees on it? So
The legal company is drafting a whole payment plan, including legal fees and everything.
we think they're realistic. She knows the answer. You think they're gonna do it?
Well, according to the law firm, they received their first wire, $85,000, which is half of the 2026 assessments.
Yeah, that's great. That's
Yeah.
great.
And the second one should be mid-February to cover 100% of the 2026 assessments. And then they're supposedly gonna start paying on a monthly basis to cover what's owed up to this point, the 300,000 or something.
Yeah, that's what we talked about. So
You're saying it needs to be held in escrow until it's paid.
Well, that part, I don't know much about it, but yeah, probably that's the case.
Lauren, we were just discussing,
So why would we do?
we have to wait till they're paid in full to collect that versus if they were behind for 2025 and they paid that amount in full, so they're current for that year. You can't make a claim to collect that at any time.
That's for by the attorney.
Yeah, what was the reasoning?
Standard collection, collection practice.
Why can't we petition the attorney to release the funds?
I told Ray I would ask them.
Yeah,
So they'll have that money and have it throw it like.
that's what I was gonna say. If they're gonna hold on to it, I want them to pay us interest when they finally get us.
We don't see the money until they have all the.
Ever heard of that?
business doesn't work that way.
Nice way to help your cash flow for the attorney firm.
Yeah.
It's on my list to talk to Charlie about.
When there's a dispute, then they hold it in escrow and that's until the final settlement. If we have an agreement and it's signed off on, we have to get periodic payments.
Right.
It's not disputed on.
It's on my list for Charlie.
Okay.
Good. Well, I have an update on what's called a story or whatever you want to call it, university. They had a $47 million judgment entry against them. The $56 million fraud lawsuit is still going. $47 million judgment is a complex here in Orlando called Apex South Creek. And it's on South Creek Boulevard in Orlando. Apartment complex. They don't say much about it, but then when the look up that apex and so on, it talks about the positive impacts of it. The negative impacts are management and maintenance, reports of unresponsive or route management, with delays in addressing maintenance requests, including leaks. Cleanliness and maintenance, concerns about trash and hallways and soil and elevators. Security and access, issues with broken entrance gates and front desk staff not allowing deliveries or guests into the building. Safety concerns about the broken parking lot. Conclusion, Apex appears to be a modern, well-located and attractive apartment complex with great amenities. However, prospective tenants should be aware of the reported problems.
So what was the 45 million based on?
People that are in the trust, what they've got all these properties in what's called a DST, a Delaware's Net Equity Trust. And it's, people can go in and invest. And it usually ends up people that have 1031, want a 1031 exchange. So they've got a property, and they can exchange it for an investment in there. So they go from an active management to a passive, so they set these things up. But the people that are running it are not paying all the interest on them.
Okay.
And that's the $47 million judgment.
Interest.
I don't know what it is, but it's a $47 million judgment for eight. This is just for eight.
I'm just wondering if someone soon to get.
Yeah, I would think it's part of that interest plus their money
This is their
back.
Judgment, so they've gone to court, they've got the judgment. $56 million fraud lawsuit is still going on.
They're saying damages from, they could sell their property a year ago when it was probably worth 30% more than what it is now. So then that's
Yeah,
all kinds of stuff that's in there.
but it's good news that
That's it. I'm looking at them. That'll be what's rate 360, 400? That's all
The debt that they owe prior to 2026,
done.
301.
Real one, that's the arrears. And they're gonna pay current too as we go along now?
Correct. Well, they're gonna be.
Let's see how they perform.
26, yeah, and then
Say again?
they're gonna be current with 2026 once they submit the second payment now in February. And then from March to October, they should cover everything that they owe from the previous.
So then just pulling that forward a little further, account receivable was 693. Is that made up of? As far as we're saying
Half of it.
for half of it, and then
Yeah.
what else is out there?
For residents are about 200.
It's actually 5 now. Before it was 6, but one of them was the one that we conveyed the property recently, actually now in February, and then it's I don't have the exact $600,000 because I ran it today.
Yeah, not exact, but if you can ballpark.
We have a story at $300,000. We have 5 residents accounts currently in collections that owe $117,000, and then we have the remaining units with a total of $99,000.
That's kind of. It's gonna be like those people pay.
Yeah, but the bulk is gonna be Astoria and those 5 residents. Those 6 Astoria and those 5 residents are gonna be a total of $118,000 just for 90 days.
Fingers crossed.
And then Mattamy, even though they're up to date, their total balance right now is $160,000, which includes the Q4 prorated assessment and the 2021.
And they didn't run behind with.
They were until we were able to get in contact with Stephanie Coffin, which is the one that's been helping us with the payments. And after that, they've been, so far they have submitted 2 payments. They received the January statement. They received the January statement, but because it was not reflecting the last payment that they had submitted yet, they wanted an updated report that reflects that payment so that she can cover the remaining balance with the following payment.
They're private. Canadian.
They're Canadian, they're out of Canada, but they've got 8 different properties.
Just sticking on the balance sheet, there's 105 due from reserve to operating, and then 89,000 from operating to reserve.
The $98,000 is because I was not able to time the allocation, December allocation to reserves. So that's the $98,000.
That was done in January.
Yeah, and then the 105 is the audit entry, the justice cost invoice. The one that owes from reserve to.
But again, for January month end, those things should carry each other.
Well, in January, I didn't do your two operating, so that one's still not clear.
Then 182 from CJC.
Oh, that includes the latest payroll and that includes the 101 true. Yeah, true, $700,000 that belong to Crow.
Is that the until January?
Correct. Well, that transfer is not done. yet.
It's not.
Yeah,
All right, yeah, I know you guys were doing a lot of work to try to clean up the year-end statements, but would have hoped that some of that other stuff cleaned up. And
yeah, I did some transfers in January, not to ruin the schedule, the monthly schedule that we had, but I'm sure that some of those are gonna get cleared now.
yeah, I think we're all aware of the funds to capital, that's gonna be delayed throughout the year. Cash flow there, so that's an expected number that I would expect to see for a while. But the other stuff, hopefully we can clean that up.
The $600,000.
Yeah, that's just gonna be cash flow that comes in. You gotta keep the operating appropriate, and
Correct.
when there's money that comes in, whether from different receivable collections or something else, there might be an opportunity.
Yeah, ideally, if we can get the Astoria money back altogether, then we can pay a good chunk of what we got to the capital out of those funds that we're getting from them. Getting like this far.
Yeah, just looking at last year, we were short 275 on homeowner assessment, so that's kind of the number of what I would expect that if we can get to that, that's a good starting point, and then they get called up in 2026 to pay it off. Just looking at the overall year, that the homeowner, 2025 homeowner assessments were short like $275,000. Right, so then I would expect that we would have 275 as a shortage for operating, because that's not cash we received yet, but
Right.
as the year goes on and we get more cash flow in, then we can pay it down.
Comment on that. Let's be behind in that, I just think that the lots of title. That was the 275, 436. Our deficit for the year was 275.
Yeah,
Yeah. Sarah's looking at something you're gonna look at. I'll make a few other comments here, but when you look at it that way, our entire shortfall is caused by that. But there's a lot of puts and takes in the other part of this thing.
there's a lot of things that were way off that somehow balanced out.
Let me
on
tell
the
you, volatility, but I'll make a couple comments on the volatilities. Back to the balance sheet and the payments on the building. We got 2.6 right now on the capital fund.
Yeah.
On the
Yeah.
receivable.
Yes.
So 2.6, how much do we have due now? Do we need some more payments in the last few weeks, or what do we have to pay them to the end? What's gonna be outstanding?
It's, near the end of the year it was $1,444,000.
Correct, yeah, so after these 1.6 that we're showing here in December 31st, we process another payment, a fourth payment to Bianchi that's for $400 and something thousand. So currently our cash position in the capital is closer to $1 billion. I can check right now, what's the current number?
Forget the labor position after.
Yeah, just total cash,
Total cash.
For capital.
total, yeah.
So, yeah.
Sounds like 2.2, right? At 2.6, and you made that.
I just want to get a fix on where we are with pending payments that are going to occur in the next 3 months.
Yeah, I think there's a risk that you may need to sell that treasury, get the cash sooner, but that's not till March, so that's,
Someplace else, I think. Yeah, this is gonna be. Because I gotta believe we owe something standing here. Got 2.6, so when you put those two together, it goes to
Right.
0.
Yep.
So that's what all the best. Those are.
yeah. I think one's
Drain the swamp.
in March, one's in April.
Well, there's a little good news at the start of the year. Last year in January 17, so we earned 71,000 capital. This year, 30. Closed. We're gonna get 126,000. So we have the 63,000 from December that should be coming. So
Very-
sent summary. The two of the biggest issues, and neither of them responded to stop over. And time today, but I know some of the people. And
They're gonna burn out.
yeah, they had a largest list of. There's that one big one that- Listen,
It's 120. We'll be replenishing the capital fund at 150,000. So 3 months. So.
Reviewing the capital this year, outside of 851, is there any outstanding expenses that you know about as of right now?
Capital,
Yeah,
yeah, you're gonna have about, it's actually
Q1.
300 for the water heaters or for the pool heaters.
Island Village
in
pool.
our Village,
that sounds.
they have to,
It's only 250.
I know, I just got the updated number.
Inflation.
I had a call with Tanner. So they have to dig the wells, buy the equipment, they have to expand the equipment corral because of the heaters. They have to change the electrical panel out to accommodate the new heater requirements. So all of,
Natural gas.
no, it's,
They get a natural gas heater.
that won't.
Geothermal.
Yeah, it's geothermal heating. It's because of the size of the. It's bigger than
Lauren?
like. Mhm.
Lauren, you broke up at the very beginning. What was that new dollar amount for
So
the,
it's
for the
300
heater
it's
system?
Bill, it's $300,000. They're the larger units, multiple units. They have to expand the corral.
Mhm.
Equipment, they have to dig the wells, run all the piping. They have to change out the electrical panels that and had
Right.
anticipated. Plus, because they have a contractor doing it, you have the contractor upcharge on top of it.
So that 300,000 is our half?
It's our half, yes.
Okay.
So, however, there's more to the story here. There's an additional $40,000 in spend that needed to happen in the amenity center to add in the security cameras, security equipment and everything that's required that we would need to operate it, that was not intended to be put in there, that Matabee's gonna eat themselves. They're also putting a sales shade structure over the playground that's attached to the amenity center. That's probably about $90,000 to $100,000 that if we were to do it ourselves would be. So we're getting a lot more than we're giving in this situation, if you look at it from an overall standpoint. Plus, they are building us a small shed in phase 4. Where we can store maintenance items and a small vehicle in there at no cost to us.
So what's the timing
On the pool, on when it will be built.
on the money starting to flow out?
So it's gonna go in front of the board this month for them to approve the expenditure, and then Tanner will invoice me probably April, May.
They're probably not gonna even start. it.
They're building right now, there's blocks going up. Yeah, the minute said the pool's going,
Because, I mean, a lot of stuff is going on.
no, we were out there last week, and Tanner was showing me pictures on. Of the site.
Wouldn't there be,
It's gonna be due by the end.
Yes, we do.
Spring.
shouldn't there be some type of percentage of completion for outlays of funds if we have like 100,000 a month?
Yeah.
Something of that nature, that we're not just running them the 300,000, then do it, but as work gets done, then we release
Yeah.
so much at a time.
So Ray, you've got an answer there on
$652,000. $652,000 what we have liquid and 1.6 in investments. So 2.2 in total.
and how much is due?
Almost $1 million. No, almost $2 million.
So, yeah, 1.8 is paid and 2 million still due.
So we got a $200,000.
Not even like if we're,
That's too tight.
But again, that's not accounting for what you said, the 150,000 a month. So it's really timing of this.
So
So
that's gonna cover 3 months or so. It'll cover a little more than that. You know, it's like 300,000 back, that's too
Can't
much. If we get the 150. Yeah, I thought the numbers were, I was thinking about that driving up here. And what we could do, and we could borrow some cash from the reserve fund and replace it. We're gonna have to do it. Too tight.
So, because placement's down.
It is. Well, as of December 31st, yes.
Yeah.
And then we have the furniture, right? The vehicles. We're paying also JBB for the design of the multipurpose court out of capital. So yeah, right now, a lot of the funds from reserve and capital.
For the vehicles, that should be pretty much entirely from reserve. Pushkin?
Cut back. Lobbies.
Special assessment.
You don't want to do that.
It'll be go fast. We're gonna have a little,
Pause them.
yeah, we have a spot here.
Yeah, I would say cut back.
I thought we told the board that already.
Well,
That didn't work.
Well, now let's call it action, you know, what can we do to, what, the line for what can we?
It should be briefed at the next meeting. That just stuff just can't happen.
They're having a,
a.
they're having a cash flow discussion at the 6 and 12 projection.
It's not, the 6 and 12 month projection will be fine. It's gonna be the dip.
Yeah.
In the front part of that.
That'll be-
First quarter, second
that'll be-
quarter.
Situation.
We got that.
The 2 to 4 month,
8 months from now, we're gonna be fine.
Yeah, we got.
2 to 4 month is the issue,
We
right?
gotta thread that.
Isn't that cash flow simply the operating?
That's what you're.
So who's doing the cap? Maybe we should get together and talk.
Do we know ballpark what the schedule looks like for a 51? 2 million that's still owed? Like, are we talking end of February, a million's due, end of March, another million, or they're not done until April, right? So,
No, you have a final CO, mid-April. Final punch list sign off is mid-May. So you probably see a final, done in end of May.
That's 4 months. 600,000. Get that money in from, get that money earlier from Astoria. Not have that. So. Telling Matt any money, if you could go nail the title companies, get 120,000. Did you hear me? Gonna get 120,000.
Yeah. That's what about the room designations you got even?
I have no interest in the rooms, but I have interest in 2 benches,
How much is that?
5,000.
Oh, it's that much.
Yeah.
It's more than I thought. What's the best, 2,500?
You forgot about the trees, Lauren.
Oh, yeah, People want memorial trees.
That doesn't make you say cash, it's foliage.
Yep. Maintenance to do.
It's very cheap. Beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah, that in the cash, that's not fungible. There you go.
But it's money I don't have to spend on a tree.
That's right. You're gonna spend it anyway, because you're gonna have 2020. What do you mean? You don't have that discount.
they're signing up for when the hurricane hits and the tree falls over, they're gonna buy a new one.
No, the garden club wants to, you know how they've been doing those memorial trees around town, CDD properties and properties, they want to continue to do that, but they wanted to kind of increase that.
A couple observations, which were just to reflect on our years ago. So if you look at revenue, start with revenue, and you look at where we came in relative to budget, we were 4% over budget. So what you gotta do is really normalize it, because we had that capital resale fee. We had 1.2 million in there, and we budgeted for 400, so there's $700,000 paid out there. So if you wanna look at what really the operating statement, but budgeted. you can almost pull that out, and then I call it normalizing it a little bit. So if you do that, our revenue is down 3.7. So if you just look at the P&L, it says it's up 4%, but it goes down 3.7 when you actually look at that coming out. You do it on the expense side too, with the allocation companies, I think it's kind of expensive. So we fell pretty far short in revenue. But 275,000, it's 344,000. That's what makes up that 3.7%. 275,000 was the investments. Other income was down 45,000. Pretty big number. And general events were down 44,000. Well, they came out okay on a net basis, but we had that revenue in there. They were out 40,000. So that's where the deviations are there. Expenses, we do the same thing. Look at the P&L, the expenses look like they're 7% better than budget. That's because that $700,000 is in there from differential in the budget and capital allocation.
We also had private rentals were up.
Yeah, well, that's in the expenses, that's related.
The CJC draw. CJC draw, $100,000.
Going back-
7%. It's down 7%, but that looks really good, like, oh, we saved a lot of money. But when you take out that capital and everything else, it goes to 0.74. So our expenses were below. Now, that's not a bad thing. I mean, our expense control was good at 0.74. relative to budget. That's $69,000, and here's where the volatility is. That's a negative or a savings of $69,000. The overages, care and maintenance was over $139,000 in budget a year. And if you take out that credit that's in there, it's $175,000 compared to the budget. The pools were $90,000, safety was $80,000. So a lot of other little areas added up a lot of positives to offset these big numbers. These are huge, huge deviations. And interestingly enough, landscape was below budget, water was below budget. We had the best year ever with water. I think it's the first year landscape's been under budget. So a pretty good year, volatile, but pretty good year in expenses. You know, posted on budgeted that.
And just comment on your other income, more than half of that was just the interest rate environment. I think 23,000 less than what was expected, so that hurt that piece where I think the past couple of years, that was a tailwind for us. That assisted us in making up differences here or there. And then to security, that was $80,000 expense for summer. That was never thought of or anything that was a decision to make, so that's there. And then unfortunately, just now, I think we're an aging community as far as 30 years and everything else, and maintenance was just way higher than expected, and things break and things are around that need attention. So how do we try to quantify that going? I'm not sure.
I heard from management that there's going to be more oversight on expenditures, monitoring and controls. Because we can't just build, we don't have one check. So we got to operate within a budget. So I think you would agree that was going to be different. Just got to stay within our budget. And some things you have to fix and prioritize, and fix the things that we need to fix, and it's not going to chase everything. Yeah.
A lot more things.
However, we're not working. Yeah. Just
Yeah, hopefully your personnel is
Trained.
to change people because they all, you know.
How much rental income will we have for 851 once it's back in operation again? That we missed this year?
The biggest thing that you were missing since we've moved out of 851 is X Factor Dance. But I don't think they're coming back when we move back to 851. Because they have a permanent space in Stetson right now, from my understanding.
I hear they're happy.
And they're very happy over there. So I think you'll see additional rental income from like private events and other entities in town using it for meetings, but you're not gonna see X Factor coming back we'll have space for additional partner programs that we've wanted to bring in that just haven't been able to bring in because we don't have space to put them. So that, but that'll be spread out amongst the other amenities as well.
One other comment for you was, I know our insurance is going up 100 grand, but we had that savings 100 grand for this year. So if you look at a 2-year comparison, 25, 26, that might net out to close to.
I think for this group to know as well, 'cause I don't think any of you watched the CCS meeting that was held last week. CCS received a check for $130,000 from
Yes.
US Bank. Ray looked into it. It is a valid check. It is valid celebration money. It's management's recommendation that that money be split between CCS and CROA. CCS is running such a tight ship this year with the 30th anniversary. So that, but that would be an upside to the CROA budget as other income. I'm just verifying with Charlie that we can split that check between.
It's a check board.
We can't really tell. What the best we can tell is it was a payment processing company that CCMC was using, that information just wasn't passed over to us when we took over. The bank held the money and the account went cold, and they held it as long as they needed to and closed it out and sent the check.
There's some
But it
saying
was-
about a gift, don't look at the gift horse in the mouth thing.
That's, I don't know.
I don't want them coming back saying, give us 130,000 after we spend it.
Categorize as CSS money.
It's, the check is made out to CCS.
And apparently,
It's what the account was opened under.
So they must have put money in. Grants or something or whatever.
No,
apparently it was a system similar to what we're using now in Square, that we can use it to process payments with credit cards. So apparently this company was a division from US Bank called Elavon. They are a processing payment platform, and they can create a reserve out of the payments that they're receiving to counteract any fraud or overcharges or whatever they need. But then apparently once the account goes cold, then they have the power to terminate the account. They can hold on to the funds until everything is clear and they're sure that there's no more payments coming into that account, and they release the funds. But the person that talked to me from the US Bank accounts payable, she mentioned that they didn't have a lot of contacts here, but the check was valid. It was cut from them. It was cut from US Bank because Elavon is a subsidiary from US Bank. And yeah, it was time for them to
The
release
only
them.
reason it was CCS and with them is because it was a payment processing
Yes,
device that was held used at events. So somehow somebody set it up with that name. It wasn't like there was funds being paid in CCS like grants like city would do or anything.
no, that would be something, no, that would be something.
This money really belongs to Crow. It really does. I mean, you can decide how you split it, but it really belongs to Crow. It's not CCS money.
I mean, they do process payments during CCS events as well, so I mean, just how to parse it between CROA and CCS. There's no supporting documentation.
This wasn't a profit. This was a reserve.
well, but it's a reserve. They call a reserve because it's a reserve for them. They see like, this is gonna be our reserve in case we receive any overcharge or chargeback or fraud that we need to pay out of this account. We're gonna take that money from these reserves.
They
And
got a security deposit on the apartment
basically,
and
and
an apartment finding.
yeah, it's like they will hold a percentage on each transaction that they will get. They will hold a percentage of that and put it on the reserves.
It was Crow that was shorted money. For the event, create that reserve.
Correct.
CSX.
Yeah, but I don't have any documentation saying this amount was collected for this CROA event versus this amount was collected for this CCS event.
All right, right
We
now.
do collect, we do sell things and collect money in CCS for CCS events.
It's not big money.
No, but it's something.
Yeah, and what we do is that we pull the report straight from Square, and there we can see like, okay, we collect this money from this event, from this rental, and then we can split it. We know like if it is gonna be a CCS event, then we transfer that money to CCS. If it's CROA, then it's CCS.
No,
But they don't have any records going back to where the money came from,
US
percentages.
So right now, but and CCS, you go all through Square in one account. They're not separate,
we have,
but you're able to identify it.
yeah, we pull the because the
The detail.
the parks, yeah, they leave notes and you can say, hey, this belongs to a rental for the Island Village facility, or this is a table rental for this event. This is tickets for murder mystery, like that type of detail is within the per report for each transaction that we're able to split all the revenue and what belongs to pro events, what belongs to CCS.
20,000 to CCSU.
TJC pays 25.
I can-
We paid 90% of that.
All right. No, I was just thinking, is it something where we take the cash and then we just pay the 130 over the next 3 years or something like that? So that's a way around it. We get the cash up front, but we still give it to CCS. But yeah, I think if you can, if there's no documentation to support it, then if you're able to legally say it's Crow's money, it's Crow's money and nothing to the CCS.
Is that sticky factor of the check is made out to CCS?
Yeah, so we're clearing it with Charlie. That's the recommendation that management gave to the board was to split it between CCS and CROA purely because, not purely because, but one, because the checks is made out to CCS, and two, this year CCS is running a very tight budget because of the anniversary.
What's your total budget? Order of magnitude, $100,000, 70,000. Yes.
50/50 just seemed like an arbitrary number.
That's what I'm driving to, see how the minimum CSS is. We talked about this morning.
I mean, I get where she's coming from, where if it's short, then it makes sense to capitalize it.
I mean,
but-
there's a way we,
Total expenses, $227,000.
Not because it was 65.
yeah, we're doing a 30th.
How much is the spike compared?
But I thought all CCS is pretty much net neutral on their events.
I got it.
No, they're not all net neutral. Pups and Pipes is a revenue generator. Fortune Yard Sale is net neutrals or a little bit of a loss. It was the Home Improvement Expo before, it's the Health Expo now. That should be a net neutral. 4th of July is a huge loss every year. And now this year Founders is a loss.
90% of those losses.
Yeah.
Or it's the same number. Major recommendation.
We just need a little bit of cash flow in CCS to make sure. They're-
25,000 check, how many? Paper twice.
What's $65,000 gonna help you with
Yes.
$850?
Very good.
Oh,
No, it's CCS.
we got till July.
Oh, 100,000, I'm thinking more like 90,000. Really?
Oh, you want 130?
It almost doubled. 2025 total spend for CCS was 120.
Say then do a 3/4 quarter split.
I think we ought to get more.
Probably should, but
We'll share your recommendation with the board.
I mean, ideally, yeah, we get all of it, but
Was the history money, you may be able to figure it out.
and again, that's something that you'd always capitalize CCS at a later date.
You always won.
One other thing. Before you came in. So we hold the P and Ls until we look at them and then they didn't do that this time. That's.
Year end's a weird,
I know. We got this meeting, for a specific purpose to see them. I think I made this recommendation a couple of times. It's never really tracked. But I think we should do what we do, screen the P and L, make any adjustment, but also prepare some kind of a qualitative. Really puts the period, the month in perspective. So we would say certain things happen, whatever. This one, we would talk about the owner assessments being down to 275,000 and the deficit being 275,000 and some other things, talk about expenses and just to give people a qualitative read and that gives them a feeling for what's going on.
I mean, you can still do that for this one because they'll be presented in the February meeting.
They got it.
If we found something wrong, they could still change it.
Well, yeah. I don't care if we do it now or when we do it, I'd like to see us start. My opinion is I think we should start with something. Well, Ray gets up and talks about it, but it's really more quantitative about the numbers and everything else. I think if you weave a little story, you know, like an executive summary.
Yeah, I think you need to look at like a one-page summary of, here's highlights, lowlights. Something pretty generic from a financial understanding perspective of,
Yeah.
40,000.
I,
Here's what's going on.
I think I can work on that and have that on a monthly basis. I just don't want to overcommit and say that I'm gonna have that summary by 15th with you guys. Like,
I mean, well, hold on, the financials are issued with your commentary in the
Yeah.
front end, but if this committee wants to draft something that's their qualitative view of the financials for inclusion for consideration as well, that's fine.
Ray has commentary. Why doesn't Ray just share with us so you can see if there's something missing?
It's what he sends to you is like explanations of the variations of like maintenance high this month because of X, Y, and Z. When he sends,
Just this.
no, normally when he
usually,
sends out
yeah.
an email, when he sends the financials to you guys in an email before the 15th, he says he'll highlight some like that, this is high because of X, Y, and Z, this is low because of whatever. Or we saw something weird happen over here in the email. Those commentaries plus additional, some of the questions that get raised before the meeting, some of those are pulled into the board summary page when the financials are issued finally.
Would we want to present some type of summary for the annual meeting in March? As far as the overview of the prior year,
Yeah,
Can we-
well, we can get it,
on behalf of the finance committee?
try and get it done before the February board meeting, and then we can share it and say. Share this with,
Bill can share that at the
yeah,
annual meeting.
yeah.
I think we should do it. Yeah, year in reflection, but I think the forward. I don't ever remember seeing comments from you that go along with the board. That standard form and
It's in that block template.
I
the
would,
one that just went out.
No,
Well-
there's no commentary in the one that just went out, but I know in prior months in there.
would defer and say we do quarterly, not monthly, just because there is monthly volatility in certain things. Where a quarterly, I think, is a 3-month view of looking at things and there's that there. Yeah,
Just would like to see something start.
but I like your idea. I think quarterly is probably more appropriate for it.
So
But it's-
Ray will continue with his monthly commentary, noting, large variations, budget or anomalies. And then this committee will come up with a quarterly recap for
It's like
consideration.
the earnings report kind of thing. Yeah, what's there, and it doesn't need to be a huge press release, but a one pager that gives people an idea of what's going on.
It ties in nicely with the metrics. So the board reviews the metrics quarterly.
Right.
So at that same quarterly review, you would have a financial quarterly overview from the finance committee.
Yeah. Perfect. I'm sure we want to show at the annual meeting that we have a big deficit. They,
All we're gonna do is end up explaining.
The annual meeting is meant to be a celebration of the successes of the prior year.
Rationalization.
Then keep it in the February.
Just keep it-
That's fine.
Keep it possible, just throw more money.
Yeah.
When we're charging $5 a drink, they'll know why.
But if there are highlights of successes that the finance committee wants in the presentation for the annual meeting, please share those with us before February 20th.
Well, think about things. I think you should have something in there about the resale fee. And for the resale fees, you don't have to pay any. And that's allowing us to rebuild, we built the splash pad, and we're gonna rebuild the 851 for $4.3 million. And we've got another project coming on lot B. It's gonna be the end of the year and into next year. Basketball, pass, volleyball. That's the thing, kind of centered around the capital. I think.
Those are highlights in the master plan committee slide.
That's
Master,
okay, well, we gotta pay for it, talk about how we're paying.
Yeah. Yeah, the resale.
Well, that's why we're asking your input, what you want on your
Yeah.
slide,
The
because
message is if we wouldn't have got that passed, before it passed by 17 votes, and not a single, only Katie did on social media, not a single board member supported it publicly. If we wouldn't have got that passed, we would be having a special assessment. Or be going into debt. I think that's, in terms of the finance operation, that's probably the greatest accomplishment that's enabled a lot to start.
The fact that you don't need to pay the loan, say 51, right there.
that and your continued investment.
51 doesn't get done without
Our
that.
investments are gonna be, yours, Chad.
We have not 2025, we're talking 2025 right now.
Yeah.
Just because we're gonna liquidate it all in 2026, we don't need to tell everybody that.
So full disclosure, being open for that, being transparent. You know,
Capital fee, it's
break up all the money you made in 2020.
Be transparent in the board meeting, don't be, when you're sitting here celebrating 2025, it doesn't mean you have to drag everybody down.
we got 858,000 more.
Are you gonna put, somebody gonna use for the annual meeting?
Yeah, there are slides for the annual meeting, so if you have specific verbiage you want us to put in there, send it to us.
You know, other things too. Why don't you scratch something out and send it to us and we'll all throw our thoughts in.
Look forward to your commentary.
You should provide some input as a treasurer.
I look forward to your
Exactly.
commentary.
Yeah. Well, that was not
It- It shows my high regard and respect for committee's work, and I appreciate your efforts.
That's a poll.
That's the biggest compliment I've ever made.
Oh, good dodge.
From a guy that drove back from DC.
Yeah.
He
No,
learned
I
well.
did drive back from DC. Oh, it was not fun. In an EV, I had to stop multiple times, so.
Just real quick, on these, this 120,000 capital fees in 2025 that we don't seem to receive.
I'm sure that we have received some of those.
I have a feeling we did. Just got lost somewhere.
I mentioned that I'm gonna get to work with the capital and reserve reconciliation, but I want to finish first the working capital reconciliation that you guys have. I'm gonna use Osceola as my master file, and based on the addresses that we have there that we have sold, we're gonna go have in the system. Like a lot of the working capital assessments that we have in the system, like don't match with what I have in Osceola due to timing issues, or because the sale process in the system was not processed correctly. I've noticed that some of the working capital assessments before, not all of them booked to the correct account, so some of those needed to be reclassed. So maybe that's why we're missing some of them. But I'm gonna reconcile 2025, the whole year. I'm gonna send it to you guys, and then I'm gonna get to reconcile the capital fund reserve. I know I overpromised. I thought that was gonna be a quick reconciliation. It was
No.
my bad.
It hasn't, it's never reconciled.
Yeah.
So I understand.
Okay, so now, like, just so that we get an idea, I'm gonna focus on the forecast for next Wednesday. I'm gonna reach out to you guys, get your input of what I have currently, and you guys tell me what do you think about it. Then I need to close January by next Sunday as well, and then provide you with a commentary for these slides. And then in between all of that, I'll start working with the solution to see if I can finalize it like now in February or later in March, so we can have it. So,
And I'm gonna contact a few more of these people and just so they can confirm that the money was sent to Grand Manors in Texas or where. I mean, whatever. So as long as they should be able to look it up and say, yeah, we sent a check and
Yeah.
clear. So we'll go from there. So I'll do the best I can to get as much information as I can.
That'll be good, but almost more importantly, we need a reconciliation process going forward, so each month. What the sales were. Reflected. Stand, so we got a good process. I
yeah,
don't know how you do that. Must be a way to do that.
You gotta.
I will.
So what else people on they distribute the money.
Yeah. yeah, well,
They,
that's the
at the
plan.
end of the month,
That's the
they
plan.
deal with the closing occurs.
It depends on the title company. Yeah. So we, again, so 60 days, so we transmitted.
But is there a reason why you don't have a closing document or wire instructions that go straight to Truist that's slapped right in at closing and we don't have to worry about paper checks or anything like that?
And that's up to the title company.
Yeah. Why don't you check with the foundation? See how they collect their stock, see what their checks and balances. I think the foundation was always pretty tight. Not close to it any longer, but check and see how they do it. I know there was a document that they issued in every transaction, and I don't know how they had most of that and how it was checked on and were collected. I remember a couple of issues probably back in 2013. Just see what they're doing. 'Cause that's another company. It's got the same challenge we do.
Yeah.
It's just a different number. Their number is like 370 or 400,000. Both every transaction. You know, they're.
It goes on the front and back. And so, right?
No, it only goes on the so.
Yeah, it smells like.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, ours is on, this one's on our.
Okay, anything else?
Let me actually-
Talk about?
Yes, they did that.
I bought a bunch of properties there. I always thought I'd lay down the front and back.
I'm good.
Just through Rock.
You
guys, you okay?
Got some work out for you.
Anybody else have any comments?
It's the same like.
You good? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you for all you do.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.